Welcome to Front Office Pros. I'm Steve. You can follow me at Steve_FOP. I've got Joe. Joe, it looked like you were sleeping there, but Joe is not sleeping. Joe
No,
underscore
I'm not, Steve.
FOP. You can follow him on Twitter with the Front Office Pros. And today we're going to be talking about 3 players that you should be avoiding as of week 7, unless something considerably changes. We are quite concerned about these players. So, Joe, let's start it off. We're going to go with quarterback Aaron Rodgers. What do you have to say, Joe?
Yeah, Steve, this offense is broken without Devontae Adams. Just watching the games, they don't know whether they should stick with the run. Rodgers, when he passes, hasn't looked impressive. He doesn't have that go-to target, especially notice it more now that Randall Cobb is out. Lazard kind of got dinged up in this game. Tried to go to Dobbs. He dropped some passes. The thumb injury isn't helping anything. And it's unbelievable, man. Rodgers hasn't even thrown for 300 yards one time this year. It's just crazy. I mean, he kind of had 2 touchdowns last week to kind of save him, especially for fantasy. But he's a guy I'm really concerned about. I mean, the offense just looks completely broken, as I said, without Devontae.
Well, I think one of the reasons why it is broken to what you're saying is I think Rodgers is having a difficult time trusting his receivers. I saw a few times just looking at some game rewind, you saw even some opportunities where Sammy Watkins could have been open deep, and he decided to either check it down or decide just not to look his way. So he doesn't have that rapport. I wonder if they're going to need a receiver that they trade, acquire somebody, bring somebody in to change the landscape of that offense, because they're going to be going up against the Buffalo Bills. I know Aaron Rodgers says this is exactly what the team may need, but I don't know. I'm sensing a little sarcasm there. I'm not buying that. I think that they are in some considerable trouble. I don't know. I know you said relax a few weeks ago, but I think we're both at that point where I can't honestly start Aaron Rodgers unless I'm in a dire situation or I really feel like the matchup is juicy. He should have done better against the Commanders. And he didn't. So I don't know I don't know how you could start him right now going forward.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And I mean, things are probably going to get worse before they get better. As you said, they face the Bills next week. And I know he's got the Lions, after that. Maybe he turns it around, but I don't expect this week to be very good against the Bills.
And honestly, from a dynasty outlook, I mean, I don't know if it's true. I mean, I heard some rumor that he may even retire at the end of the year. I don't know if that's true or not, but I wouldn't be surprised if his heart's not in it, and with that team in disarray as it is, and trading Devontae Adams, I don't know. I think it's concerning.
Yeah, I think the retirement's a possibility. I mean, we weren't sure if he was going to retire before this year. And he used to say, football is fun, it doesn't look like he's having too much fun out there anymore.
No, yeah, how could he at this point? How could he? All right, so our next player, this is a player that emerged on the scene and all of a sudden just fall off the face of the earth. That's running back James Robinson. What do you do with James Robinson, Joe?
Yeah, he's a tough one, man. Even after, you saw the fumble at about the 2 that ETN was about to score, and that didn't even cost him. They didn't penalize him. He's right back out there. I thought Robinson might get a shot, but he didn't.
He expected ETN to eventually get the role. I didn't expect Robinson to completely get nothing. His snap shares have been going down week by week by week. And the player that we said that you should avoid just got traded to the New York Jets for pretty low draft compensation. I believe it's a 6th-round pick that can become a 5th-round pick. Not too much for the impending restricted free agent. Do we have to change our take, Joe? Are we now not avoiding James Robinson after this move?
Yeah, I don't think we have to necessarily take away our take. I mean, I'm still not comfortable putting him right into my starting lineup, even with this trade. I mean, Michael Carter is there. It's not, he's also looked good. I mean, if it wasn't for them drafting Breece Hall, he'd probably still be the starting guy there. So, it's interesting to see like what the roles are going to be, if Michael Carter's there for the early downs, or does that go right to James Robinson? Does Ty Johnson come in for the passing down work? It'll be interesting to see how it all shakes out. I'm still avoiding Robinson for this upcoming week. I'm taking the wait and see approach and then reevaluate from there.
Yeah, for me, it's a really peculiar move, Joe. Obviously, James Robinson tore his Achilles last season. We didn't know how he was going to come back from the injury. Started off the season magnificently, and a lot of people were all on the ETN train. James Robinson shows up, and then people start to get concerned, like, oh wow, I guess this isn't ETN's time. And then all of a sudden, little by little, he's now been transitioned out, and now he's traded off the team. I find it just peculiar from the Jaguars standpoint, but as far as the player goes, I'm avoiding him. I mean, I know they traded for him, but it's just a 6th-round pick that can turn into a 5th-round pick. I mean, it's not like the Jets gave up that much. He's an independent restricted free agent. I think Michael Carter is the guy you want. It's just an odd move. I think Michael Carter could have handled the load, maybe with a combo like you said with Ty Johnson. Why the Jets felt the need to bring in a James Robinson for kind of with Elijah Vera Tucker now, looks like he's out for the year. They've had some significant injuries that went on that line. Maybe they think they can make the playoffs. I don't know. But at this point, I can't in good faith start him until I see how they use him.
Yeah, I agree there. It is a weird move kind of for both teams. I mean, it's not like the Jaguars really have that many guys behind ETN. I mean, I know JaMychal Hasty's there, the rookie Snoop Connor is also there, but
yeah,
did the Jets just not like Michael Carter or what? I mean, Michael Carter looked good as a rookie last year. They draft Breece Hall. I mean, don't get me wrong, Breece Hall was impressive while he was playing,
definitely.
but like Carter showed a lot of good things last year, and that he could kind of handle the duties of an NFL running back, and then they go and switch, him to Breece Hall. So yeah, I mean, I honestly thought Jets were just going to move forward with Carter and Ty Johnson, and they would have been fine. But to your point, I guess they do think they're going to contend for playoffs, which I mean they're 5-2 right now. I mean, could happen. Crazier things could happen. I mean,
yeah, I mean, this has been their best season that they've had in a very long time. So they might be just riding the wave. I think it's more of an indictment on Zach Wilson. I really do. I don't know. Maybe he's not. I don't want to give him the benefit of the doubt because I don't think he deserves it. That maybe he's still not fully healthy. But I just don't think he's a good quarterback. And so they don't want to give Michael Carter 20 carries. So they know we need to have a balanced approach. It was working with Breece Hall and Michael Carter sharing that backfield. Breece Hall definitely was getting more and more involved. Michael Carter was kind of being pushed into the background. It'll be really interesting. But at this point, boy, this is what I was talking about. This is mystery around James Robinson. He could be really good. He could not be very good. Do you trade him? Do you not trade him? It's that window of mystery that we really don't know what's going to happen with him. It's a very peculiar move, but it doesn't tell me that he's just gonna be assured carries. I think he'll probably maybe get 10 or so carries a game. He'll be involved. I don't think he's gonna be the workhorse by any means. Michael Carter will still be involved. So I would say maybe he becomes more relevant now, but I would say still an avoid.
Yeah.
Until further notice.
Yeah, that I completely agree with. I mean, I'm a void until further notice, but I mean, I do think it is for the Jets an indictment on Zach Wilson. I mean, Zach Wilson, no, Broncos defense is really good, but he didn't really look too good. The only thing that was working for them was really their run game. I mean, Breece Hall had that nice 60+ yard touchdown run. Michael Carter had a nice run that set him up for a field goal later, and he did some nice things. Zach Wilson did with his legs, but as far as the passing game goes, this is too many games with just he struggling to throw for more than 100 yards.
All right, so our last player, this is the third player that we're saying you should avoid. This one hurts a little bit, and we've talked about this guy for so much. He's probably our number one talked about player, but how can he not be tight end Kyle Pitts?
Yeah, I mean, I still can't believe it, Steve. I mean, this was supposed to be his breakout year. Everyone thought, oh, Mariota, he passed it so much to Delaney Walker, kind of felt like the same system. Arthur Smith was a Tennessee guy, kind of thought that same thing, and Mariota would just target the tight end position. But just for whatever reason, him and Pitts just can't get on the same page, which just baffles me with somebody as talented as him, just can't produce for fantasy at this point and can't get involved in that offense. And the unfortunate part for Pitts is Falcons have been competitive in winning games. I know not so much against the Bengals, but their idea of running the ball and then only passing a few amount of times has really been working, which doesn't work in Pitts' favor. I mean,
No.
I'm not looking to trade him, especially for dynasty. I'll hang on to him. Mariota, something happens, maybe Desmond Ritter and Pitts can get on a better rapport later, but he's just too talented of a guy. I think I'm just kind of not putting my starting lineup, but just holding him on my bench at this point.
Yeah, I'm honestly in disbelief. And honestly, it's kind of, I don't know what word I want to say. It's just disappointing. I mean, he is a blue chip prospect. You do not see players at the tight end position come out of college into the NFL like he is. And you would think Arthur Smith, being an offensive, minded head coach, he is the best player on their offense, no question. You would think that they would try to be game planning to try to figure out how to get this guy the ball. And it's, there's no excuses now. It's been 7 weeks and he has been an afterthought. And at this point, you can't start him. You cannot, in good faith, if you are expecting to win your matchup and you're looking for decent production out of the tight end position, I don't think you can start Kyle Pitts because of now. If we see something change, I want to start him. Everything in my fiber wants to start him, but until something changes, I don't think you can. And honestly, I don't know if it changes. Like you said, they're tied with the Bucs right now for the division lead. Which, I mean, even if they made the playoffs, it's delusional. They probably get blown out, so what good is it? But I don't know. I think going forward, it's troubling. It's really troubling for Pitts.
Yeah, it really is. It's just unfortunate. I mean, he's basically a wide receiver playing tight end now. For a dynasty aspect, it does sometimes take tight ends a little, a few years to fully see what their optimal production will be. So that could be the case with Pitts, but hopefully something changes with Atlanta to make him better.
Yeah, I mean, unless you get a breathtaking offer for Pitts, he's too talented of a player. You can't let him go.
Yeah, I don't even think you're going to get a breathtaking offer at this point. I think everyone's going to try to lowball you because he's been so bad.
Right, absolutely.
Trying to see if they can kind of almost do you a favor at this point and take him off your hands, So
right, which in theory you shouldn't do that with a caliber player like him.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, especially, where you would have to have drafted him for dynasty leagues. I mean, you're not going to get that return by trading him. I mean, you just got to hang on to him and hope that things get better.
So that was 3 players that we're telling you that you should avoid as of week 7. We're the Front Office Pros. You can follow us on Twitter, and we would encourage you to like, subscribe, notify this channel. We're trying to create videos on a weekly basis. We thank you for watching, and until next time.